Hi, welcome back to the Codependent Millennials Guide to Living Your Best Codependency-Free Life in Quarantine. Today, I want to talk to you all about your focus, your time, and your schedule. I'm going to teach you in this guide all about how to take control back over your schedule, your time, and your focus, three areas in which a lot of clients come to me feeling totally helpless and out of control in. So the first thing I want to tell you is that no matter how long you've believed the belief that your time is out of your hands and that your focus is something that isn't within your control, the good news is you're wrong. These things are entirely within your control, entirely within your hands to take that control over, and I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video. So let's start with a few of the most common phrases I hear around issues with creating more time in your day and getting things done and focusing. A lot of people will come to me and say, well, I'm just not a planner. I don't really like scheduling my time. I don't really feel like it. That's just not who I am. I can't focus. I can't just force myself to focus, right? Like, how do you expect me to do this? I can't just force myself to focus. My schedule is always changing, so I don't really have the capacity to plan ahead. I just can't plan ahead. I kind of prefer to just do whatever I want in the moment. That's just kind of like how I like to live my life. And these sentences are all fine if they're working for you. But if you're finding that you feel like time just runs away from you, and if you're noticing that you're falling behind and that you aren't able to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in a day, then I'd suggest really recognizing that these sentences in your mind are not ultimate truth. They are simply thoughts that have become beliefs because you've been practicing them so long, and you can change them whenever you want to if you decide to do so. So let's look at this a little deeper. If you have the dominant belief, the dominant narrative in your mind that you're just someone who doesn't have enough time in the day to get something done, if you have the dominant belief that the day just gets away from you, if you have the dominant belief that you just don't have control over your time, then you won't make an effort to plan ahead, to schedule your time, to schedule events and accomplishments. And you certainly won't be inclined to show up if you ever do put those on the calendar, because you just don't believe that having control over your schedule in that way is something that's available to you. So this belief clearly is not doing any good for you. It's keeping you stuck. The most efficient way to change this belief and this habit pattern is to change your thoughts about time and about your relationship to time. So I'm not telling you to immediately go 0 to 60 from thinking that you're not a person who is in control of their time to thinking, I am the master of time, I am father time. That's not a transition that's going to feel good. That's not a transition that's going to motivate you into action. In fact, I think trying to go from one extreme to the other is going to have the opposite of the desired effect. You're going to feel less motivated to even attempt to calendar your time. You're going to feel less in control of your time because you're so focused on the contrast of what is right now versus where you want to be, and that isn't serving you either. So what can we do instead? You can start to think laddering thoughts that help you reorient yourself towards time in a way that makes you actually feel more in control of it and more in control of your actions around it. So some things that you can start thinking instead of, I'm just not someone who calendars, I just don't have control over my time, this will not work for me. Some optional thoughts that are alternatives to that are, it is possible for me to organize my time. Other people organize their time and it works for them. This is a skill that I have the capability of learning. I am committed to learning this skill. I can do this. Small amounts of progress are better than hours and days and weeks of sitting and spinning in confusion. I am committed to learning this skill. I can take this 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week at a time, and that's fine. Scheduling 3 hours of my day is better than scheduling no hours of my day. The effort is what matters here, not immediate perfection. I don't have to be perfect in order to make certain improvements in how I schedule my time and accomplish goals. This will feel amazing. That's one of my favorite thoughts that will motivate you into action. This will feel amazing. Just imagine how incredible it will feel when you have that sense of control and mastery over even just a small portion of your schedule that you created. So something I want to talk about now is the concept of a compounding effect, an effect that just compounds and compounds over time with use. So right now you are most likely living the compounding effect of letting your primitive brain control all of your activities. Your primitive brain, the part of your brain that seeks pleasure, avoids pain at all costs, and prioritizes things that are easy and efficient. And what you've gotten from letting that part of your brain run the show and make your decisions for you is maybe a lack of time and control over your schedule. If you choose to even just calendar 1 to 3 hours every single day to decide what you're going to do intentionally in that time, and to show up to do it even when you don't want to, even when that primitive brain is urging you not to go do something that's easier, like watch a show or eat a meal or something, you will then have the compounding effect of having had control over that primitive brain. So right now, your primitive brain, the higher human part of your brain is deferring a lot of the decisions to that lower brain because it's easier to do so. Those are habitual patterns. They are well-worn grooves in the earth of your mind. It's just so easy to just keep doing what you've always been doing, which is maybe Netflix and laying down instead of just doing a quick workout and working on the paper that you're writing or something like that. Insert any activity that you've been procrastinating here. So as you start to schedule even small amounts of your time and you practice showing up and doing that activity even when your lower brain wants you to do something easier and more pleasurable in the moment, you will see the compounding effect that will have in your life. And the effect of that is going to be more control over your time, much more control over your thoughts, a heightened ability to be able to recognize that an urge to do something easy and pleasurable in the moment is happening, but not to act on that urge and not to give up control to that urge. So one thing I see a lot of people doing or thinking is they decide to calendar a couple days of their week and they show up for these events and they expect to kind of be like excited and like divinely inspired to do what's on their calendar. Please don't expect that. You will sabotage yourself. That's not going to happen, especially not right away. What's going to happen is you're going to see that calendared event and you're not going to want to do it. You're going to want to take a bath or take a walk or eat something or check Instagram. You're not going to want to file your taxes, for example. And if you can recognize that in the moment, you're going to want to sacrifice that long-term benefit of sticking with your plan for that short-term pleasure, you can recognize that that's, of course, going to be the urge, and you can just choose not to. You can say, I choose to respect myself and my time by doing what I told myself I would do, by holding myself accountable, by having that self-trust that I told myself I would develop. This is something you're going to have to commit to over and over and over again. Again, just strengthening those muscles of making decisions from your higher evolved human part of the brain instead of the lower primitive brain. This is a skill you want to develop, a muscle you want to strengthen. You are going to have to continuously commit to choosing the long-term benefits over the short-term pleasure. You're not going to want to maybe do that workout or file your taxes, but you're going to become practiced at choosing those things, choosing to keep those commitments over the short-term pleasure of not doing them. There's that meme about like the heroin rush of canceling plans. You're not going to cancel your plans that you've made with yourself. Just decide that that's no longer something that's available to you. You make a plan, you make a commitment to yourself, you keep it. That's the person you are now. That's the person you're becoming. Focus is another area of our lives which feels sometimes like it's out of our control because we aren't thinking of it in the correct way. We think that focus is this external entity. We don't think of focus as being something that we contain within our own minds and have full control over. But we do, which is incredible news. Again, with focus, what I would suggest here is to constantly be reminding yourself that you are the one in control of your focus. Your primitive brain, again, is going to be feeding you opportunities all day, every day for distraction, to split your focus, to abandon the thing that is difficult and taking up a lot of your brain space for something that is easy and simple, like a TV show that is just fed to you. And again, you have to be the adult. You have to provide that structure for yourself. You have to use that higher human brain, more than that smaller primitive part of your brain to say, I see that distraction, I recognize it, and I choose to come back to my task. I see this urge to distract, I see this urge to distract and this and this and this, and I come back. And this will feel exhausting. Again, it will make you want to give up. It will make you want to quit. It will make you think, this is no use. I know I watched that stupid video that she recorded, but this actually just doesn't work for me. I promise you these thoughts will come up, and they're nonsense. So maybe, I'm hoping, if I tell you that they're coming ahead of time, when they actually come up, you won't take them as truth. You will take them for what they are. Just thoughts that are aiming to get you distracted away from the thing you've decided you want, the long-term important benefit or goal, trying to get you to abandon that for the short-term pleasure. Just don't. The short-term pleasure means nothing in the face of that incredible long-term benefit and goal. You can use this, again, to redirect your focus. Whenever you feel that your brain wants to just go in a million different directions, understand that that doesn't mean anything has gone wrong. That doesn't mean that you should abandon your plan. That doesn't mean that it's time to rethink your schedule. No, that is just another sign to keep going. That's just another sign that you are doing exactly what you need to be doing in order to regain control of your time and your focus and regain control of your entire mind. It is going to feel like struggle. It is going to feel like resistance and like an uphill battle because it's something you've never practiced before for any long-term period of time, or else you wouldn't even be needing to watch this video. So just know it's going to be uncomfortable and know that you're going to choose that discomfort on purpose. It's like giving birth. It's not, but it's kind of like the concept. Women know it's going to hurt. They know they're about to experience pain, but they've chosen that discomfort, that extreme pain, because of the long-term benefits, because they know that they want what is going to result from that experience. So just focus on what you are creating. Focus on the compounding result of respecting your time, of honoring your time, of taking control of your focus, even though it feels so hard. Focus on the result you'll get at the end of that, not on the present moment discomfort of actually doing it. And one last tool I want to teach you with this that I learned from my coach, Brooke Castillo, and another colleague of mine, Lauren Cash, is a system called Monday Hour One. And it is such a simple and beautiful way of getting a handle on your schedule, even when it feels totally without your control. So what you're going to do is, on a piece of paper, write down every single task you have on your calendar that week. Just think of everything you have to do that week. I don't care how small, how large it is. Wash the dishes, comb the dog, clean out the refrigerator, do the laundry, file your taxes, write that paper, take 3 walks outside. I don't care what it is. It goes on this list. This is the big, comprehensive list of everything. This is like the key to your life. And when you finished that, and if you're just starting out with this, I would start with calendaring 1 to 3 hours every day. Insert those tasks, the most important ones, into those hours in each of your days. So take 1 to 3 hours each day that you've decided to calendar. All the rest you can, leave for now. We'll work up to that later, but for now just calendar 1 to 3 hours every day and put the most important tasks in those hour sections. And then go throughout your week and just try this for 1 week. Calm your brain down a little bit. Your brain is going to feel like, oh my God, I'm handcuffed to this rigid schedule. My whole life is going to end. Oh my God, it's going to be so dramatic. Again, just pat it on the head and be like, please sit down. I'm trying to get some shit done, okay? So put those most important things in those hour blocks throughout the week. So you have anywhere between 7 to 21 hours calendared throughout the week. And then go about your week, and when those hours come up that you've planned, do those things. Do the things on the calendar. Show up for yourself. Don't let yourself cancel. Don't let yourself reschedule. And if your brain is popping up right now with the excuse of, well, things come up during the day. Maybe I have kids. Like, I don't really know what my day is going to look like. So plan for that. So if you plan to be interrupted every 45 minutes by your children, plan for that. Give yourself, a buffer of a couple hours in the evening or in the early morning before they wake up. Be on your own side here. Like, decide that you want to become a person who has more control over your time and your schedule, and account for that based on the reality of what your life looks like now. So don't create this calendar with some like weird, fantastical version of what your life could look like if everything were perfect and you had 24/7 childcare. Use your actual life to help design a calendar that will set you up to succeed at it. Again, these tiny little victories, just doing an hour of what you said you would do each day, will compound your confidence in your ability to do that even more later on. So, I hope this is helpful. This system, everything I taught to you in this course today, in this video, revolutionized the way that I related to my own schedule and to my own relationship with time. I was always someone who thought, I don't have enough time. I could never do that. I don't like to plan. I don't like to be a calendared person. But trust me, it is worth it. And it is so much more liberating than it is restricting. It is so liberating to know that everything on my calendar is handled because I know that I'm going to show up for it. Then I have so much more time in my day to be free, to be that spontaneous person that I thought would only exist if I didn't calendar anything ever. I'm so wrong. All right, my loves, if you have any questions, you can comment down below if you're watching the video. You can also email me at sophie@codependentmillennial.com. Happy to answer anything you have there. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great night. Bye.